What I did yesterday to you guys in that video was brutal. I had to fill an ad slot and it just had to get done, and this video wasn't done yet. So here is the official reveal without any further ado, the next truck for the RF Racing channel. You all know I do not hype my trucks up very much at all. I try and stay as modest as possible, but with this one, it deserves all the hype. I love the way it looks. I hope you guys appreciate the color as much as I do, because in person, it looks a lot better than in pictures. And here it is. 2023 Colorado Zr2, returning to our roots on the channel. Now I know I'm gonna upset a few people here because it's like you're going back and doing what you just did. Not exactly. Well, sort of. I don't mind throwing 37-inch tires on this, or who knows where we're gonna end up by the end of this build. A nice lift kit, wrap, do all the stuff that we normally do, and test it as hard as we can to see what this truck can stand up to. Take it across country to Colorado, all that stuff. Even if this does upset a few people because I said I may go the Toyota route or the Ford route or another full-size truck, this is the truck that I wanted. It was my favorite truck so far that I've ever owned, and the looks of this one, the redesign, just looks so great. And you know what? I left a few options off of it for now, like the chase rack, like the bull bars in the front. I didn't go with the Desert Bus strictly because it was too expensive for me. Obviously, I would have gotten that, but the nitro yellow, I'm sure people are already barking in the comments because on camera, it's a little sour looking. I don't really know any other adjective to describe this. It's like a mustardy, weird color on pictures. In person, it looks amazing. This truck wears it so well. I think it's just only these smaller trucks can wear that. Full size, they should look a little bit weird. Like you see these on like a Chevy Cruze or whatever the hell these are, and it looks terrible. But on the mid-size truck like this, it looks great. So let's do the full walk around of my Colorado Zr2. One of the options I went with right off the rip, because we're gonna need them, is rock sliders. That's my biggest mistake with the Silverado Zr2, was just not getting these. Even though they're expensive, just get them. They're worth their weight in gold, super important, and I'm so happy that these are just on the truck and ready to go, clean, and they're way more beefy than what were on my Colorado Zr2 from 2021. So that's huge. Other than that, I sprung for the more expensive color. I think this was like a $400 upgraded color. There were some other colors, I think like the Glacier Blue and maybe one other that there were a slight upgrade, but this one was by far the most expensive. I think the others were like $100. This one was $400 to add this color to the truck. And even if you don't like it, it doesn't matter because it's getting wrapped here by next week. So if you do like it, that sucks because the color is sort of going away. But at the very end of the day, at least whenever we take it out on the trails, everything's protected, looks great. I'm glad that they took the cowl hood here from the Silverado Zr2, and some of the trail bosses I've seen, the Z71s, have this cowl hood and slapped it on this truck. I think that's why people call this the Mini TRX, the headlights and the hood and the wide body, which, speaking of wide body, it's fat, way fatter than my previous Zr2, the Colorado. My Silverado didn't have a wide body, which whenever you see this, look how good it looks on the midsize. Imagine that on a Chevy 6.2 liter front and rear locker, full-size off-road truck. The potential's there. Chevy's dumb. That's all I'm gonna say about that. For the interior here, we've already moved in. I got my waters here, the check for 717 supply for the giveaway winner. And a towel because I don't have the good floor mats in here yet. I mean, I have floor mats, but I don't want to dirty them up. I want like the WeatherTech in here before we start getting sloppy. Full center screen here, looks amazing. Chevy did a good job with that, and I'm glad they brought it to the mid-size trucks. There are some things lacking here, downgrading to a mid-size and not having a full size. Some of the stuff I'll probably miss, and other stuff I won't really care about that much. We don't have a sunroof, but that's my fault. I didn't order it with a sunroof. Saved me like, I don't know, $1,000 maybe. One of my favorite add-ons though is we had to spring for the yellow seat belts. This is the only color they offer. You can't get them in any other color other than just the regular black, but I figured this with the yellow stitching plus the yellow exterior is gonna look amazing. And once we have the wrap on, which you guys, if you want to see the wrap, check out my Instagram, RF Racing 717. I released the wrap already on there. You guys can let me know what you think. Hopefully everyone's on board for it. First impressions here, I think we only have like 200 miles on it, are very, very good. This is the first time I've taken this officially off-road. I mean, this is technically off-road here. First impressions just with driving have been very positive. I'm really happy that they're sort of listening to me. One of my bigger complaints was get rid of the chrome, and they're getting that piano finish on here, which looks amazing. Even though it scratches, I could care less because so does this, like, silver, whatever. This stuff is crap. If this was piano finish, or better yet, yellow to match the exterior or the stitching, that would be awesome. Little weird down here. They had to do what they did with the C8, where they had to hide, like, just sort of jam in the vents because there's no really other place to put them on a mid-size truck whenever you have this big screen. I don't mind any of that. My complaints have just been the same over the years. A little bit of chrome here and there, not that big of a deal. I love these like bullet AC vents. They're the twist ones. They sort of have like a camo pattern here, and even down here in the phone charger have a camo pattern. Love how that looks. Two-tone, well, three-tone technically, I guess. Leather interior. You have a light gray here and then almost a black, just a darker gray with the yellow stitching on the sides. And that's all the way around the truck. I especially like this little band here. Anything to just make it look a little more edgy, a little more clean and different, as opposed to your run-of-the-mill like van interior. I hate whenever you have cool vehicles and the inside just is lacking. This one is not. We have the blacked out Chevy bow tie here. That looks great with the rest of the interior. One of the only things that's a little bit weird here is the four-wheel drive selector. I know Ford's doing this with the Bronco and maybe others, but I like it whenever the four-wheel drive selector is off here to the left and out of the way. I understand this is an off-road vehicle, so it's like this is what it's for. It's a showpiece here. You have your mode select. Everything is right here, right next to the gear select, but this kills your storage spot in the middle. Very, very, very small complaints. So if it's like, hey, this is how it's going to be, totally fine. I'm like a 1 out of 10 upset about that. Not a big deal. I don't want to get started though complaining because, but I do have to mention one thing. We have one slight mechanical issue with the truck. It's very, very minor. The turn signal is broken on this machine, unfortunately. So I can't turn right. Sometimes, I'd say around 50% of the time, this gets jammed up unless I turn left. And then once I turn left, that like unlocks the right. So whenever I want to turn right, I have to hit the left turn signal and then I can jam this up to turn right. And now you guys know with turn signals, once you do your turn, this automatically releases. You don't have to turn it off. Whenever it does that, it slides down just enough, not to fully engage, but it slides down to like this position and turns on the left turn signal. And you know how it does that pulsing 1, 2, 3 turn? It just stays on. It doesn't do a pulse. So every time I turn right, I have to turn off my left turn signal. And anytime I want to turn right, I also have to put the turn signal on left first to unlock right. So that has to be fixed. Breaking news! I just bought a new truck. Let me give you a Ford Bronco for essentially free. This key tag just went on sale for $5. That's it, $5. And you get entered to win this Ford Bronco Everglades edition. Sick red fuel wheels, chunky 35-inch tires, one of the coolest snorkels I've ever seen, and a great all-around daily driver that is super capable to get you to and from work and tackle any off-roading you can throw at it. Plus, you get $10,000 cash. So buy any one of the products up on the screen, first link down in the description, and I can change your life. Good luck. We're looking pretty good here. This is the Zr2. They should be super proud of this, and I wish they were a little bit more in your face about it. You have a sticker here, sticker on the tailgate, little emblem, one on the front, and for my 2021, you had it stitched into the headrest. I don't think that's even an option now because I obviously would have done that. Nothing on the headrest, and it's really cool with the AEV Bison. They even put the Bison on here with the AEV. None of that, and also in the flooring here, this isn't the rocker, this is the rocker, but up here, this would be a nice plate. It was like a metal plate with Zr2 in it. They did that on the Silverado too. And here, this is just like a rental car plastic snap-in piece. And I think the reason for that is it's like, hey, the world's nuts right now. We got to get these trucks out. Stuff like that just gets left out. Just the way it is. Unfortunately, it's not Chevy's fault. Supply and demand. Got to get these trucks out. Cannot miss deadlines. So that I'll give him a pass for. Not that big of a deal, but it would have looked really cool because it's really something to be proud of to be a Zr2 and not just a Colorado. I know that sounds a little lame, but look at Rubicon with Jeep. Do you have a Sahara or do you have a Rubicon? They're two totally different off-road rigs. Of course, with the Zr2, speaking of off-road rigs, front and rear locker for this truck. I think I still have the lane keep assist, and this button puts down all the windows at the same time. That's pretty cool. Fire it up here. Push button start finally on a mid-size truck. No HUD, but we do have those red lights that flash whenever you're about to run into something. Sucks there's no heads-up display. For the headlights, there's no way to turn on the headlights. I was confused down here. No buttons, nothing like that. Nothing on the stock. No buttons down here. It's actually in the center interface here. You tap this button for your lights. Now, obviously, I normally run them auto anyway, so it doesn't matter, but that's how you turn on your headlights, turn them off and on, is all electronically through the center console. Yep, you can see there 209 miles, and I am just in love with how the interior is done on this side. I think that looks so cool. Fat Zr2 badge in your face with the camo pattern, two-tone leather interior, yellow stitching, piano finish, massive center console, mid-size truck, epic off-roader. Chevy did it again. The Zr2 Colorado and GMC Canyon, I'm sure, which would be really cool to get one of those. It'd be sick to see a blacked out GMC badge here or something like that, but all in good time. This does have the 4-cylinder turbo, so lacking a little bit of power. I don't know how in love it's gonna be with having 37-inch tires on it, but it's just gonna have to kind of put up with it. Also, clearance is a bit of a factor. Looks like we have plenty of clearance here for a bigger tire. These are full-size 33s, but you can see whenever the wheels are turned, the tires definitely get a little bit closer. And once we throw 37s on this thing, I don't even think you're gonna be able to fit your peen in there. I already have the wheels like those are locked in, but man, it's gonna be tight, and I don't want to have another Silverado Zr2 situation on our hands where I'm like destroying the interior of the truck. But yet again, you can tell this truck was slightly rushed out of the factory just because on my previous Colorado, the control arms had like lasered the whole way through Zr2 in them. These are just Joe Schmo, plain Jane control arms. And it's like, really, Bobby, we're complaining about control arms not having a Zr2 emblem. I'm just showing you guys around the truck. I want to be as humble as possible here. I am in love with this machine. Just giving you guys a little bit of an insight into how they're a little bit different than the 2021 and the 2023. Overall, this one obviously wins, but there are some differences. It's weird you take a step back from what you already had locked down. Upcoming modifications and future videos. Number one, get the ramp rebuilt because we have to do the cliche jump video. Just to see how this thing would handle it. Obviously, it's gonna crush it because it's a ZR2. I don't think we've had a single fail the entire time with the over 20 vehicles we jumped from the ramp up here at the farm. Guaranteed modifications, wheels and tires, those are locked in, ready to go for next week. Wrap is already here and getting put on by next week. The chase rack should be here very, very soon. I haven't ordered it, but I'm like in the final processes here of like using my Chevy points, my GM points, or whatever the hell they are to get a discount. So that should be on very soon. Even though it's a 4-cylinder, MagnaFlow does make an exhaust for this thing. Lift kits aren't available just yet, as far as I know, but these usually come out a little bit quicker than full-size truck lift kits. It's not going to take a year to get a lift kit out for this truck. But if we can squeeze some 35s on this, it's not really going to matter. Got all the yank recovery equipment transferred over to this truck. ZR2 in the bed, full spray and bed liner. It's pretty sick because soft open tailgate, of course, but it has some storage back here. So we might be able to throw in some cool stuff in here. Not a ton of room, but it's waterproof for the most part. I like the color. Whenever you guys see it in person, if you ever see it at a car show or anything like that, I can have plenty of people vouch for me that it looks great. I know we haven't heard anything from Karen lately, but maybe this is the start, which I don't mind because those videos do insane, and I also don't mind upsetting people who have no reason to be upset. No harm, no foul. If she wants to get mad, whatever. I wonder if the Blackhawk can see the see this beacon of yellow down here. This would be a perfect little LZ for it. Come down here and land, please. That'd be sick for the video. No, it is all coming together. We have our expensive, well, you guys know what I mean, not expensive, but our premier off-roader that's brand new, our cheap off-roader, which I love, like dailying this thing, like honestly dailying this, because I don't care if I put miles on it. It already has 200,000 miles on it, so who cares? And we have just very modest, clean build plans for this thing. And then my wife, of course, has her car, which unfortunately was just detailed by just some high schooler off Facebook. It was like, hey, it's a good price, and sort of ripped a little bit of the paint off here, so I'm gonna have to touch that up for her. Shouldn't be too bad. I've never done touch-up work before, but this is small enough that I think if I don't know the process. I know it's really easy, but you just get those little pens with the paint code, fill this in, and then throw some clear coat on it. So hopefully can fix that up looking brand new. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for the support, for allowing me to do crazy stuff like this, buying these just wicked cool off-roaders. I'm not going to be humble anymore where I have to like tiptoe around and be like, oh, I know it's just a Colorado, it's a 4-cylinder. I don't care. I've proven what these trucks can do, and I'm so excited to see what this Colorado Zr2 can do in the future. Follow me on Instagram, rfracing717. The giveaway is going on for the Bronco Everglades edition. Likes are always appreciated, and I just appreciate you guys sticking along for the ride. See you next time.